Hello everyone, Modern Maccabee here. Today I have a cool perspective video to show you, which is going to be for intruders as well as you home defenders, concerning whether you should use a weapon mounted light, what are the benefits, and the details that go into whether you should use your lights at home, up above, or if you should use one of these that go onto your pistol or rifle of your choice. So let's go through the options and kind of show you guys what happens here. So just starting off with the lights on, say you're in the bedroom and you're coming out and unfortunately you have an invader. So boom, there he is. Very nice, very easy. And you can also see things from the perspective over there. So you'll see every time I pop out of this wall, I'm fully visible. And that's what I'm trying to get across. So over here, right? Oh no, bad guy. Boom. And I'm filming this on the Meta Quest 3, that way you guys can see my POV straight through my eyes, so hopefully you like that. Of course, details are going to be a little bit different in terms of how my dot looks and everything, but should be good enough for this video. So let's go ahead and pretend now that we are unfortunately sleeping and we hear that bump in the night. So in this situation, right, what you're going to want to do is turn on your light. Now, that's probably going to mean that you have to reach around and hit your light switch. So that's something not a lot of people think about, unfortunately, when they're dealing with this kind of situation. So let's go ahead and show that off. So, oh no, bad guy. Right? So let's do that again. Light off. I'm over here. Reach around. Bad guy. Okay, so that's exactly the kind of situation you don't want to be in, where your hand is all the way over here. Now you notice the guy. You're fully exposed. There's no other way for me to really reach this light switch without exposing myself way more than I need to, right? Because I can potentially pull the shot off from here, no problem. The only problem is I need to turn on the light in order to see what I'm doing. If the lights are completely off, I can hardly see a thing, as you can see here. I can see my dot, but that's about it. I can't make out a target. Let's say, right, that I could make somebody out. There's silhouettes, there's some lighting coming from the kitchen, and I could see that there's somebody there. Now, finding my dot is going to be a lot more challenging. The reason for that is usually if you are very good at drawing, you've practiced this 100 times, it should come right up at the exact same point. But if, say, you're newer to shooting and you're not 100% proficient with your dot, then something like this could happen, where you're not 100% sure where your dot is. Now, usually when the lights are on, it's very easy to know the mistake you're making and where to find your dot. You can see the front sight, you can see the box, basically the silhouette of your actual optic, and you'll know what angle I have to do to fix and find my dot, right? Same thing here. Okay, there it is. There it is. If the lights are off, let's put that in perspective, right? Now, I don't know which way I have to turn. I can hardly see a thing. So imagine now needing to find my dot in this situation. It becomes much more difficult. So let's go ahead and now show the weapon mounted light and see what this feature is like. Okay, good. Just making sure the dog is not in line of fire. Okay, so what we're going to do is reach around. We're going to use the weapon mounted light, which is on the handgun. So just like this. Very important part is never to go ahead and turn it on like I'm showing here. This is just going to blind yourself. You won't be able to see a thing. And now you're going to have some vision discomfort. Also, you're going to illuminate where you are. And so from that perspective, you should see that obviously there's somebody coming from this room. So what you're going to want to do is expose yourself. They should not be able to see a thing about you. But now you can go ahead, blind them, and then take your shot. So let's do that a little bit quicker. So here we go. And you can be as quiet as you want in this kind of situation. And if you're home, I do suggest practicing this, especially if you have a WML. Let's do that again. One more time. And you can see exactly how little I am exposing myself in this situation compared to before. I only have to come out a little bit. I can come out at an angle and I can go ahead and take those shots without needing to be fully exposed to hit that light switch. Now I'm going to show this with strobing, so kind of a similar effect. So it is way more blinding for me, but it also should be more distracting for the other guy. So it definitely is a useful feature, though personally, I would not be using it, and if it's not something you're planning on using, you may even want to disable that feature on your WML. Another thing I want to show is hand carried lights. So something like this, which you can do off body. And I do recommend having one of these on you at all times. It's just very useful in general. So let's say, right, I am in this perspective, and this sucks because I'm coming from left to right. I am a righty. So I want to have the gun in my right hand. I'm not going to shoot offhanded because I'm using this. So in this situation, there are a few different holds that you can do, and I can make a whole separate video about that. But I'm going to show the FBI method. So this method allows me to go ahead and kind of throw off where I am. And so people don't exactly realize where you are. They're going to shoot at the light. Worst comes to worst, right? You lose a hand, but you would not be seen 100% from the same perspective. So let's do this at full power, show the exact same thing. So let's charge that back up. So light goes off until I'm exposed. So here we go. One more time, because that one honestly sucked. And this takes a lot of practice and precision. You have to know your hand carried light as well as your weapon of choosing. Know how to shoot that with one hand. It is not the same level of skill as everything else here. So hopefully you can see from the perspective that just using a WML is the best course of action in this kind of situation. Obviously, every house is different, every layout is different, so it depends if you're coming out from the left, the right, where exactly the attacker is. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you like the POV perspective using the MetaQuest 3. And if you want to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe. Again, hope you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to hit the like button. Any questions you have down in the comments below, and hope to see you in the next one.